I suppose one of the things that made music very important and very special in Presentation Headford was the passion that was always associated with it. Children were, from once they came into first year, they were always encouraged to take up different types of instruments. And we had a pool of instruments there for them to try, and they were encouraged then, if they liked an instrument, to take up lessons in that particular instrument, and they would be maybe given the loan of an instrument if it was around. And suddenly music, not only was it being taught in the classroom, but it spilt out into the corridors and spilt out into the community, and therefore it created a great bond between community and school. In the secondary school, music was taught here by Sister Evelyn Garrity for many years, and Sister Evelyn Glynn before that. And after Sister Evelyn Garrity, when she retired as a music teacher, Mairead Berrill came here and carried on teaching music. And as time went on, music became a very fun subject. Students were often unaware that it was like an academic subject, or they had to do an exam in it, because they had so much fun up there in the music room. And the school became full of music. The corridors was full of music. People just bobbed along because Mairead was there every day at lunchtime. One day she would have jazz, another day she'd have traditional music, another day she might have classical and pop, rock and roll, whatever. But there was different types of music done every day. Everybody then got interested in all types of music. Some of them were able to cross into different aspects of music, from trad to classical, and more just stuck with the one. But most students were able to play and join in every type of music, and a love there was formed for all different types of music.
Okay, now can you play D, 2, 3, E, 2, 3, A, D? And Marie and I will get that A going with you. Are you ready, Julius? One, you play? No, you play. 1, 2, 3. Bum, 2, 3. Bum, 2, 3. Bum, 2, 3. Bum. Okay, that was almost perfect, wasn't it? What was missing, Mary?
After Mairead retired from the secondary school, she still continued to teach music after school hours. So here in the school, we have Mairead and Peter still teaching, together with their son Matthew, and another past pupil, Sorika Walsh, and they teach anything from violin to clarinet to saxophone to piano, singing, you name it, it's taught here after school.
Like on day one, you'd see the students coming in. They don't necessarily know each other. Some of the younger ones don't have any, instrumental experience. They could play a few chords or have a few notes on a tin whistle or sing or play some rhythm. But from day one, where they come in, and some of them older ones are very skilled. Some of the younger ones are just starting out. To see the progression from day one to the concert day, where they perform together as a full orchestra, like 40 odd people. And everyone's role was as important as each other. So that's a great confidence booster, I suppose. And it's a great social thing just to be part of. I remember that as well, just the sense of being part of something with your friends or your new friends, and discovering a whole new world. So I think it's very helpful as a young person growing up, even as a grown-up. It's very helpful, But just to see the sparkle in some of the young people's eyes is great. So this just seems to be an ideal centre for music happening in the area. I mean, there's so much great support from PCH and from all the teachers in the area, and the teachers upstairs in Campbell's Tavern. So there's just a thriving community of teachers and of students, and Headford Hall is used a lot. Campbell's Tavern seems just to be a special place, whether there's 5 people in the audience or 150 or more, you know, regardless, there's that special atmosphere, and I think really just lends a weight to of importance to the performance. Yeah.
I guess what has happened is that we've had many concerts here. We've set up, you know, everyone from Damien Dempsey to Richie Havens to the Saw Doctors to Georgie Fame. There's loads of people who have played here, thank God, over the years. Brilliant concert nights. But the vast majority of the gigs that happen here and the music that happens here is local musicians, and the nature of that is of a very, very high standard, and anyone who comes through here will always comment on it. But the reason it's of such a high standard is because there's a culture in the area that's been developed before that moment when the light went off in my head. You know, that was already there, that was happening through the school. Now there was a cultural, a musical landscape in the area anyway, but this became hugely magnified and accelerated by Mairead Berrill in the school and the Berrill family, and then the subsequent setting up of Headford Music Works with Sorka. And so the landscape then becomes even more magical, and you can see then that about, I'd say, 70% of the music that happens here is as a direct result in this pub, is as a direct result of the processes over the last maybe 15, 20 years, 25 years of Headford Music Works, and what has, you know, been managed to achieve through all of that. So the knock-on effect is huge for here as a music venue, as a country pub, as a community pub, but also it has knocked on in a way whereby there's a music school now been set up upstairs, and the music teachers have all gone through the hands of, in some way or another, of Headford Music Works as well. So the interdependent nature, it seems to me, of what Headford Music Works brings about and the processes that are involved there, they're not intent on competition. It's more about the group, and whilst never losing sight of the striving for excellence in all of that.
2. Wow, that sounded like an orchestra. Try it again. 1, 2. Excellent. Could we do those down, down? Okay. 1, 2. Fantastic. Lovely. Can we slowly try it from the beginning with everybody playing? Okay. So I'll give you 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Then our violins start, and everybody else comes in after. Good. Will you try this part for now? Because I bet you'll be able to sight read that, because the notes are easy. So try the harder one for now. So everybody up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's try that again. Are you ready, ladies? Okay, you're on your own. They're not playing. They've got rests. Okay, so play that strong. I would have done various things. It would have started out in school. I would have been brought into various things by Mairead. She was always inspiring me to try more and break my boundaries, to try new things and be part of bigger ensembles. And it's in doing that that my love just grew more and more, and it gave me that want from being inspired by Mairead and by music and everybody that I worked with, that I wanted to give back. I wanted to give that feeling of, yeah, this is great to be a part of it and part of an ensemble and part of a group, and to then go on and inspire children. So at the point of, like, you're doing your Leaving Cert, I didn't know, I wanted to work with children, I wanted to do something with music, and I found my way into the Corrib School of Music. And again, with the advice of Mairead, I was looking at, you know, will I go on and do instrumental teaching, or will I go down the route of pedagogy, class pedagogy? And as always, she said, you know, try something new, do something different. You know, you've tried that, you've worked in that area, try something different. So went down the route of class pedagogy, and in that opened new doors for me. I went on then to study in America and do my master's in Coda education, and it's just, there's just that want to give back to the kids the experiences that you had. So you're constantly trying to push the kids to try new things, just as I know for me, I wouldn't have tried a lot of things if I wasn't told about them, or if I wasn't, kind of said, just do it. So I suppose the summer camp, you're working with children, some children that you've worked with before, a lot of new faces, and you kind of spend the first day, you get a feel for the kids, you bring in things and you'll try new things with the students that are there and getting that collaboration between the kids to get to know one another and feel comfortable. That's what day one is about, and inspiring them to, be willing to try maybe new instruments, or be part, have the confidence to be part of the ensemble. We had Contempo Quartet, so they came out, 2 of them worked with the younger ensemble. We had Andrea and Adrian in the morning session with the young students, and then in the afternoon we had Ingrid and Bogdan. So they both worked with the kids on a piece that the students had been working on. Like the morning session, actually, the students we had given them all violins. They hadn't, some of them were experienced, were already learning their instrument, but some of the kids had never picked up a violin before. So that was a new experience for a lot of the kids there. And then they came together and performed this piece with the senior students at the end. So we had the Contempo Quartet working with the kids. And then the following day, we had a session with Máirtín O'Connor. So again, contrasting styles, like traditional music. We've gone from the classical with Contempo Quartet to the traditional with Máirtín O'Connor, and again the kids were given various lines depending on their abilities, and that was all worked together so that the standards, whether you were just that beginner violin or that you were that experienced performer, that you could come together and play with a larger ensemble, and that you had confidence to play your part very well without feeling like, this is, I can't play with the older experienced students. So that was, really great to see the young and the old performing together, as well as performing with these fantastic musicians, these professional musicians. So it's just a great experience for the kids to be part of, and to give them that confidence.
I think it's a mixture of the social and I suppose just the joy of the sound and the joy of being part of a team. This group ethos and working together and getting lost in something that's really effective and that's really memorable, and the communication that's both sound and just unspoken. This marvelous thing that happens when a child becomes a member of a music group. And it's as much musical as social as human, and that stays long after the piece of music finishes, and in some cases it's the stimulus for a whole life pathway of involvement in music. Again, this enablement again, if you were to take a cross section of second level schools in this area now, there's a music teacher in Ballinrobe who was a pupil in PCH. There's a music teacher in Tuam who was a pupil in PCH, a music teacher in Gort who was a pupil in PCH. I suppose that spreading out beyond the hub that was PCH Headford or the Headford community. The spreading out and the continuing enablement of a larger cross-section of people is just very exciting to observe.
It's good to acknowledge just how welcoming people in Headford are of something that's different. I mean, right from the beginning of when we came, we probably never imagined that we'd actually stay in Headford. We were just a very young, we'd only been married 2 years, we had no children, so this was a nice place to be for a while. But just the warmth of the people in the community who embraced us and welcomed us to be a part of the community. And you can see the same in the tavern with Willie. It's such a special, magical place, and how he welcomes the young folk in, and nothing is any problem. And he's so supportive of all the music of every genre, and it's great to see somewhere like that really makes music a vital part of the community.
We're just setting up the stage for the East meets West Orchestra tomorrow. They're going to play here on the main stage in the tavern. So yeah, we've some wonderful times here. This is one of the really, I suppose, one of the key gigs, you know, and very representative of what this place is all about, and I guess also what Headford Music Works is about, and it's very representative of kind of the very vibrant musical landscape in the area. And then I have to carry like 5 things.
So Campbell's Tavern is sort of a spiritual hub and home for all of us. It's been a place where I suppose we've grown up being part of the community here in Campbell's Tavern, and there's just always been a sense of, okay, we can do it. What you want, we'll do it. Willie was so great to, he provided assistance to buy instruments throughout the years, and he's also provided assistance to help like local bands, give them a stage, give them a roof to play on even. He's helped us buy gear like PAs and stuff, and there's a sort of sense of community with the use of instruments and gear. So it's just it's a great hub. I'd see it as a social community centre as well. You know, of course it's a pub, but it's so much more. We have like 40-50 piece orchestras here, and they're on all different levels, you know, physically on different levels, and you know, with experience as well. So Willie's given a stage for people just to perform and to practice performing and be to nurture. Willie has really helped us nurture the performance aspect of things.
Just that I'm very happy to be continually involved, and the tables have turned from moving to teaching, I suppose, teaching the students. Now some of the students who are professional because of their special experience, maybe perhaps in another country, I'm thinking particularly of Matthew and Circa, they bring so much back, and they are, you know, teaching me now. And I suppose it's a gorgeous kind of synergy of the teacher and the pupil. The teacher becomes the pupil, and the pupil becomes the teacher, and it's just an eternal human loop with regard to music making, which is great.